Welcome to our final chapel together, Forest Kids. I'm so grateful for the work that you have done. Particularly these past few months have been challenging at times, and I'm very grateful that you have remained consistent and persistent in continuing to do your learning at home. For our last chapel, boys and girls, somebody once shared something with me, and I thought this might be a message that our Forest Kids might be able to make some meaning from as well. I have in my hands a basketball, and when this basketball is in my hands, it's probably worth about $15. But if you put this basketball in the hands of LeBron James, do you know who he is? He's an amazing professional basketball player. Suddenly, this ball might be worth about $30 million. I have a football here that in my hands is probably worth about $10 or $11. But if we put this football in the hands of Kirk Cousins, well, now it's worth $50 or $60 million. You see, it depends on whose hands it's in. Look at this. I have a golf club. Now, in my hands, this golf club is probably worth about $30, $40. But if we put this golf club into the hands of Tiger Woods, do you know who Tiger Woods is? An amazing golfer. Now it's probably worth $50 or $60 million. You see, it depends on whose hands it's in. If you put a staff or a rod in my hands, I might be able to protect myself from a wild animal. But if you put a rod or a staff in the hands of Moses, he can part the Red Sea. You see, it depends on whose hands it's in. If you put a slingshot in my hands, it's really just a toy. When you put a slingshot into the hands of King David, he can slay a giant. Boys and girls, it depends on whose hands it's in. If you put 2 fish and 5 loaves in my hands, maybe I could feed my family. But if you put 2 fish and 5 loaves into Jesus' hands, he can feed 5,000. You see, it depends on whose hands it's in. If you put nails in my hands, I might be able to fasten a couple of boards for you. But if we put nails in Jesus' hands, Jesus offers salvation to those who trust and love him. You see, it depends on whose hands they're in. Boys and girls, if you take your worries and your cares and your concerns and you keep them in your own hands, that's all they'll ever be. But if you take the things that worry you and make you feel a little scared and you put them in God's hands, God promises to always see us through. Forest Kids, as we close out this school year and we enjoy the summer months, my prayer for you is that not only this summer and next year, but that forever and always you would place your life not in your own hands, but in God's hands, because God can do transformational things to bless his kingdom with your life. Forest Kids, our prayer, your teachers, your assistants' prayer for you is that the Lord would bless you and keep you, that he would turn his face towards you and smile upon you, and that the Lord would give you his grace and peace both now and forevermore. Have a blessed summer. Amen.